Hello, hello. What's up, chat? Oh, just got done with a lot of working out today. Very tired. Want to just chill and watch a little footage. So I'm gonna do that. This weekend was defending the gate, so I think we're gonna pull up that footage. Let me turn the music down just a little bit. Defending Gate is an Atlantean event that is held, was held this past Saturday. I just kind of want to see what we captured. I didn't get a chance to watch it all. I just made a compilation and posted it earlier today. Oh, it's part of the Titan Turning Challenge. That's right. Now I have a trident. It's pretty fucking cool. Alright, let's bump that volume way down. Alright, I think it's in order. So this will be early in the rounds. It was a double limb. So it's going to be, I think, semis into finals at the end. And it was double limb single pass, the format. I think Adon had said something about, Master Adon, who's here on the left, said something about him feeling, or keeping his tip a little high, so I want to keep an eye out for it, see if it actually is a little high when he resets. For context, it was raining all of Saturday, and so this ground is mega muddy and wet. And a lot of feet were soaked through, so people aren't able to move quite in the manner they wanted. This was the drier side of the field. The other side had kind of standing water. Ooh, did you get caught there? What happened? I know Don's not been playing as much as of late competitively, but used to be one of the definitely one of the most competitive people. This was my first fight against Urkel, I think. This person's fighting that sort of Spanish Destreza-esque fight where the blade is always pointed. Yeah, for myself, part of that low guard advantage is purely to save energy. I just don't have to really do too much with my blade in terms of energy expenditure, whereas that high guard with the extended blade burns so much energy relatively. I can keep my guard sort of indefinitely, whereas that extended arm can only go for so long. So in this particular context, because I'm burning much less energy, regardless of the fighter that I'm fighting, if I see this style, I'll just wait. I'll just hang out, let them burn themselves out a little bit. I have no need to rush when they're extending their blade and just burning that energy. Ooh. Dagger's OP. Too powerful. Just having that extra defensive item and implement out there. Poke at the hand, let the riposte happen, replace the dagger. Everything else is kind of free from there. This is Golfrit and Alan. I've coached both of them within the last number of months, trying to get Alan to step back every time something happens that he cannot predict. If he doesn't know exactly what's going to happen, take that step back. Well, it looks like he knocked the blade out of his hand. What happened there? Through low. Oh, the foot. Oh, I see. It looks like Golford had like a far back single trigger grip at this knuckle, and it looks like Alan may have kicked in or stepped on the blade based on that frame by frame. Through, like Alan rolled or stepped somehow, sort of on that blade right there, pulling it down. That's what it looks like. Let me know if you all see different, but. And he calls the hold for the. Oh, and he lost the dagger in exchange. Okay. He's trying to trade foot for. Alan's doing a good job of moving his feet to avoid golfing attacks. Good patience on the using his feet to save himself, looking for the opening. This is Ulfar and Stefan. Two of the humans that are fighting it out. So, both of them like to do that dagger clear before they throw. If you guys watch, check this out. Right here. See that step forward with the dagger, trying to find a blade. I'll postulate, however, that if you are stepping forward to grab their sword with your dagger, you are in a measure that is very dangerous. Unless you know you can do it, I would stay further back all the time and maybe wait for them to step toward you to use that moment to step forward to capture, as opposed to trying to force that step. Because right now, because Ulfar has stepped back in parity or matching Stefan's forward step, now Ulfar has a moment to fire in which they've already committed their action. It doesn't matter whether the shot is good or not. It's just you get a free shot. That Italian lean back. Whoop. This squared weight. And that, look at that, all the body weight here on that back foot. Almost like an 80-20 right there in this frame. I know it's a lot of the historical, like the kind of Italian side of fencing. There's a lot of moments where you are back weighted. I am very much a square my weight between the 2 feet as much as possible all the time. Just 50-50. Probably a little bit more bend in the legs. Always have that stored kinetic energy to spring forward. Yeah, I don't love the on the back foot lunge. Oh, missed a shot. What happened? Hey Sven, how's it going? And I think Thursday I'm going to try to watch some Armored stuff. Because I haven't watched hardly any Armored from Golf. I'm excited to watch it. That cape looks dope in this in this context. Frame by frame movement. We got parries way offline. Well, not bad with timing. Not bad timing in that riposte. catch hand. Hard to tell where that tip buried itself. Looks like it could be inside line or outside line, bicep or torso there. Ooh, saw a blade bend there. Let's see what happened. Video doesn't lie. The unknown bits. That is definitely forward on the point of the shoulder. It looks of it. Maybe clavicle. On this end, I don't see a blade bend, but I do see a touch. So there may have been sound feedback. Probably nothing more than that. That's my guess. Let's see, does it get called? Nope. Looks like a slap to side of face call from the looks of it. It says Alicia and air Cole again. Hey, what's your next big event, Sven? I don't know where y'all heading next. What is Lilies? I'm unaware. Is that a In-Kingdom event? On CRN? Oh, it's a Palantir War. Oh, cool. Do you know the size offhand? I don't know if it's like golf sized or more like Great Western or Phoenix sized or War of the Wings sized. It's pretty good parry. Oh, cool. First time. Yeah, that's dope. I love going to new wars and just seeing the different cultures and setups and all that. Just new territory to explore. Pennsic, I feel like feels less big the more you've been. You just get familiar with everything. Like, oh, I know people everywhere. I know where all the camps are and all the stuff is. Little back nooks are discovered. Yeah, that's cool. Go teach people the way of the two-sword lineage. It's a good pickup on Adon's part. He took a small step back to save himself. I think in this moment he was telling me that some pounds ago, he was like, some pounds ago you probably would have tagged me. And this is the most me entry, which is present a blade right before I launch. I didn't take a step. I took that just a blade present here and then disengage low, drawing his guard high, replacing with my dagger extended to block his riposte and straight up that center. And just not quite. You can see my blade still pretty straight there. And you can even see it dents the shirt right there on the way down. Yeah, Rags is a beast. I've learned a lot. I've been pelling in the back here. I've been pelling the, like ducking through my left hand low block. Oh, really low block and return. And the return that you both do without dragging that fist all the way across my body. I've had trouble like getting that kind of like it's punching forward, but punching forward without the drag across. It's kind of like that return out of the wrist. I'll have to play with it at the next event if I armored out. So it's still like when I was watching him do it, he like barely moved. It was like looked like all wrist in his particular like low block, like leg block return. Yeah. It might be one of those like maybe I can't actually copy what he does because I don't have the forearm, and I need to actually pull my elbow and draw across to punch to then punch. Because I do what you talk about, which is using the elbow to kind of generate a lot of that power without having to get as much core rotation or forward movement with my body. Christ. Yeah, nope. I don't have giant forearms. And my muscles are a lot more elongated, so they don't quite have compact power in the same way. All right. Chat, when I talk about moving back, when I don't know what's happening, no matter what, and this is for everybody. I see that little step that he takes. I don't know what he's going to do, but I just take a step back just in case. If he launched off of that, I might not be able to do anything about it. Oh, I think I take a shot at his hand. And always maintaining this measure, ready to bail if he does anything explosive, just in case, regardless of opponent. It is good to give yourself the measure to work. One of his tells is when he wants to fight, you can see that lean forward, right here, that aggressive posturing. So even if he doesn't throw with it, he stays kind of a little forward, which it's got that like the elbow, or sorry, the shoulders forward, like hunched, ready to throw. Right there, yeah, you can see that posture, looking to hunt. I think I do another high low or low high. Yeah. Step, show low. So his dagger starts to go down. And by the time it actually follows my high line, it's already gone. Sword's in the way. Oh, sorry, dagger's in the way. Stops the sword. And I do think his main blade is not doing something that at least covers the line or riposts. Got surprised a bit in that moment. All right, this is Ulfar and Cataldo. For those of you just joining, this is Defending the Gate. Happened on Saturday. I fought Rapier, which is where I got all the footage from Rapier. They have Armored in back. They have this dope armored setup where they put up an actual gate, like a physical castle gate, with a left and right entryway, and people just play in that. So you can pin people against the wall, blade to blade, and then try to kill them from there. It's pretty fun. And they do allow kind of blind firing around corners, which is, I think, very period. If I were around the corner and I didn't want to risk too much, I would definitely blind fire, or like fire up the length of someone's haft to follow to the body or target. I think I'm popularizing low guard in Atlantia just from doing it more and teaching to others. That Torah influence and spread around a little bit more. Ulfar committed way too hard. These are two newer fighters. This is a common new person thing, which is try to take dagger, touch sword to cover, which is good, defending yourself first, and then trying to find the attack then with the sword. They're not cohesively moving together forward. It's like one implement and then the other. You can tell the caliber of the player by how synced those items are. something I was talking to Golford about is when he retreats, sometimes he stands up a little. I want to see his like belt line stay still. Like right there was a great example of got spooked, retreated upright. This, don't be upright. There's not enough bend here in the knees to then be able to retreat low and in a horizontal, as much as possible fashion. Too much power is being bled upward, like right there again. Up, lean, back. Just about everybody, when you get spooked, you tend to stand upright and lean back. It's just normal human. Yeah, absolutely. As opposed to pushing off the ball of the foot. Do you teach that that like staying level on the armored side? Yeah, pushing off that heel and getting too upright instead of like staying hips low, just step back. When you do your mega retreat, like your yeah, okay, that's the John calls it sucking out, but yeah, the hips first, and then cross step back. Do you ever use that jump that John does, like the push off the front foot, big jump back with the replacement? Like modern fencing replacement step. I feel like cross step is way better in armored. Welcome in, chat, for those who are just joining. We're watching through Defending the Gate. We are watching Defending the Gate, which is this past weekend. I wasn't fighting on the rapier side, so that's the footage that I got. So these are Atlanteans doing Atlantean fighting things. This is on very wet ground, so people aren't quite as explosive because it rained all morning up until just after court. And on the other side of the field, you've noticed a lot of people fight on this back side of the field. A lot of people are staying away from the standing water side of the field. If you have any questions, comments, please let me know. Hip stay square to yes, yeah. John plays in that more rotated, what I think of as traditional SCA fighting, like swordboard, with that big strapped, and kind of a lot more rotated. And he describes himself as oh, okay, yeah, Lachlan's meta. I think of it as like traditional Anstiorin, that armored fight. I think traditional Atlantean, or what I think of as like traditional Atlantean, is even more sideways. It's basically fully profile with the hung sword. Oh, that's so I'm told from older Atlanteans. Chat. I am very proud of this fight. I probe for information and I execute on it. So I just want to display exactly what's going through my head. So I see his guard. He looks like he's ready to bring his dagger down, and he's trying to cover his blade covers my sword, or he's trying to, which is pretty good. So I can't easily bring my sword up. So I start to bring my blade to the outside of his. You see that? I bring my blade to the outside, and he parries the outside. I'm just watching how he parries the outside. The tip comes toward the camera in terms of distance or placement. And so I see that. I'm like, okay, so he's going to disengage or parry to the outside. So now I'm going to do that same motion and then see what his dagger does after I juke his sword. He won't let me easily take my dagger to put on his blade. Just yeeted himself out. So right there, that was my... that little bit of outside, right? I bring my blade to the outside of his as I step, giving the blur. So he's going to do his automatic reaction. His blade goes out. I've already juked his blade. All his blade is in motion. I'm already heading toward the dagger. And I see his dagger drop. So I'm like, okay, so he will trigger his dagger immediately. See how my blade stops? My brain just says, okay, I know his 1 and his 2 action. And so I stored that away, futz around a little bit, and then use that to kill him. Very proud of this. 1, 2, 3. So you'll see me do the exact same thing in order. And this is how for me, I probe for information during a fight. Especially if I don't know exactly what someone's going to do. It's good to know what their automatic habits are. They've been training, they look different, or the look is different from, event to event. So go to the outside, trigger that sword as I take that step. Always. So one of the things that a lot of people don't do is they sneak in and then just get punked while they try to sneak in. I step like I mean to be there. Big step. Give the sword to the outside so that it forces this automatic reaction from the sword. Now bring it down, knowing that his dagger is going to come down. I pause for 2 frames right here as his dagger comes down. 3 frames, and I start to disengage further, knowing that he's not going to stop his dagger motion. I'll disengage over to find the line, and I know that his sword, right, it parried high, so it's just going to be on the high left quadrant relative to me, and so I just put something there. And once I've cleared both implements, I know I can fire, for real fire. So I'm now actually moving in, and his riposte is going to be well past my person because I have my defenses in play. What my opponent here should have done is, number one, probably the biggest mistake, is when I'm probing for information, take that step back, right? Look at all this just frozen feet. So I get to close how I want, well past his tip, and then throw. Always taking a step. Take a step back. Can't emphasize it enough. If you don't know what's happening, take a step back. Better to be alive to see it again. Yeah. Safest way is to be out of the reach of your opponent and give your brain time to process and react. And it would be different on a tiny list, right? If we have a small list, I can see sometimes you got to jump into your opponent. But way less so in a field this big when no one's really crouched or crunched for room. Chat, for those who like to parry down with their swords, I want to give an example of what's happening and what I don't love about this particular parry. Right there. You see how they're rotating their sword? You imagine the tip is making a cone, a big old circle, and creating a cone down to the guard. I think, and this is my opinion, I think you can basically drop your tip straight down and thrust into position. You can imagine, going back a few frames, if they wanted to capture this blade, I would just thrust to, just past over their blade and punch my guard forward to capture the extended blade, inside and low, instead of trying to bring it back to the outside and travel across your body. Take the lockout that is given to you. Yeah, instead of forcing that, hey, I really want to force them to my outside from Matt here. This is Adon and Cataldo. Let's see what they do. Chat. Adon was talking about, I think he had mentioned online that he didn't like how his tip is set high. Look for that as well. See if that is in fact there in the footage, well, at least of the footage that we caught. For both of them, I do like how much bend is in their knees. They look like they're a lot more level, traveling around. Nice. Caught and beat. Alright. I spend way too much time futzing around here. Oh. I told him earlier in the day to keep this arm a little bit more extended, dagger arm extended, and he was asking how much. I just kind of demonstrated it from the side before we started our pass. So I spend way too much time playing. For those who've heard me talk before, I have, as a fighter, a lot of trouble getting into what some people call the zone, or like kind of aggressive turning mode, however you want to phrase it. The idea is that the switch between kind of friendly person to like, I am a killer in this moment. So I spend, you can see, 3 minutes dorking around. When I should have shut it down early. And because I'm dorking around, they riposte into my hand, I think right here, taking my sword arm. Because I was undefeated going into the semi-final, and this is a double limb, you have to win twice. But it's still not a good reason, for me anyways, to be kind of dorking about for now 4 minutes. So he took my main hand as I was putting at his leg. I remember it continued relatively uninterestingly. I take a couple of pot shots, and he eventually finds the kill. Oh, here. Yeah. Right here. Justin, good riposte. And so on the second fight, I remember thinking in my own head, I've got to not spend so many minutes. Now a total of 5 minutes kind of putzing about and really actually seriously fight and just end the fight. Also, I had no more lives to give before the finals. So it's like I have to end it now. Otherwise I'm throwing. I don't want to throw for content in this context. I think the kill was on. I locked him out, threw a couple times, did a good job of defending himself, getting the fuck out. Well, this is a big lunge in, capturing. Not quite getting to him. You can see my blade is bent due to his dagger parrying me. But I've already dealt with his sword. And I think, whatever it is in my brain, I've just done this enough times that I knew the riposte would come in, and then the cross parry with the void will get me what I want. So I cross parry, and boop, straight down the center. This is the finals, best 2 out of 3. Fighting against William of Glencoe, I believe is their full name. I just do very stock actions that I do. That's stepping back. One of the things, chat, if you want to get someone to step at you, one of the easiest things you can do is just take a small step back. So right here, I'm taking these small steps back to allow him to step in. And so I'm going to probably step when he steps in. Right there, I can see it. I don't even do it consciously anymore. So right here, he's stepping in, like his momentum's going forward, and I'm already doing my small entry step to get the reaction. I show high, I disengage low, and I throw. He does a pretty good job of getting out. And because he's far back enough that he can't, like his blade doesn't even reach my person. And when I cross parry into nothing because we're so far apart, measure-wise. But I see that his guards are a little low, so I just do a big old redouble. I should have brought my dagger a little bit more forward. I don't like my bent elbow if I had to be judgy. And I should have brought it forward and at least a little bit lower. Try to cover where his sword is. Or if I didn't know where his blade was, just forward. Forward's the main thing. But I think I tag him right here with that slight bend in the blade. He does a big old jump out, trying to riposte, but is so far back and gets cross parried. But I think he takes the, and I didn't expect him to. You can see it. I wasn't in a posture like, oh, I know I got him. It was cool. I appreciate the call. It was barely there. I wouldn't have faulted him if he didn't take it. So this is the second pass. Same deal. You guys see how I will probe for information out of someone else's dagger constantly. Tip go or my sword goes up, his dagger goes up. Sword goes up, his dagger goes up. Right? And that is just an automatic reaction for someone defending themselves, which they should, right? If they didn't, you would just kill them over the dagger. What he doesn't do is, if he's going to bring that dagger high, if he brought his sword touching basically pommel to pommel or guard to guard, and brought his sword to cover this low line in this angle here with my mouse trace, then it doesn't matter if I disengage low or high. This whole left side, I'm locked out. My sword is locked out. I'd have to pull my blade back to retrieve it. I have to say, he did a very good job of trying to keep me cornered and trying to take advantage of my hopping around. As I was coming across, I was like, oh, he's going to throw here. I don't know what about it. I just, like, something about the tell. Like, I know he's going to throw. I felt good about that lazy cross parry. Like that's me, like casually cross parrying in this particular context. I even tell him, like, hey, good work, keeping me pendant. And then the exact same launched attack. I think. Yep. Step forward, show high, disengage low, because he likes to bring his dagger a little too high out of place. Disengage low, putting my dagger where his sword's going to be. Exactly what we did to Cthulhu, but instead low high instead of high low in this case. And down the center. And I wasn't certain if the first one hit, so I think I just auto redoubled just to make sure. Again, this one's a little bit more profiled on, like, I want my dagger a little bit more forward, but I think because I was falling to my opposite my dagger side, any riposte from that side wouldn't have hit anyways. And that was that. Good fighting. Now I have a trident. That's pretty cool. Let's look at what else do I want to watch. There's other stuff that I want to watch. Some other pickups. Specifically want to watch the one with myself and Slav. So in Gulf Wars this year, everybody in camp decided to weigh in on what they thought the split would be on a 10 set, whether it would be 6-4, 7-3, or 8-2 seemed to be what people thought, and 7-3 was by far the most common for a set of 10, with both of us trying. It's always fun to kind of wager against your friends and see what other people think, what the split will be on a set. I normally have trouble getting the competitive spirit, but here I definitely had a little bit more attitude going into this particular set. I wanted to show that I could end on the high end of those guesses, those predictions. One of the things that Slav does is they keep their dagger, I think, a little close to their person, to their torso. They do have, however, a lot of reach, um, and know how to use it to create angles. So in this first probably 3 minutes, 4 minutes, nothing happens in terms of a touch. To my recollection, the whole beginning of the set was just us feeling each other out. And for me, it was seeing where I think I can time things. Because there was something on the line, I definitely was a little bit more patient than I would have been in a pickup set, typically. Hey, what up, John? You want to hop in? I don't know if you're around, or are you just chilling at, I don't know if you're at trivia still. I haven't watched this one yet. Oh, okay. All good. Have you watched this set? I'm watching Slav, and I think in my head, I was just thinking about how close their dagger is to their torso. And how do I abuse that? Just kind of probing to see how I abuse that. Or how do I abuse that and not get killed in the meantime? Also, does Drew do trivia? Maybe I should message you. You might not have that much audio at trivia. I beat a 1200 elo player. What the fuck? Look at that extension. Pretty. I just get my crossbow on. Oh, yeah. Locked out. Locked out. The outside. Hitting mask instead. Ha! Oh. I'm trying. I have to believe in my head. I don't know if it's true, but I believe that some of it is you're like distracted throughout your day, so more prone to mistakes as opposed to like focusing on the game at hand. So the real test is when we sit down for a game proper. I also have won a couple of chess sets over my years of fighting in the SCA, and I want to bring a chess set to my next event this weekend. See if anyone else will play me. Get more reps in. Is Slav just taller than me? Am I unaware of this? Are they 6'5", 6'6"? Or do I just stand really fucking low? Two long people being long people here. Barely out of reach. Yep, there's the flick. There's the not quite bend. Yeah. Okay. 6'6". That's maybe that's hence why this video looks the way it does. Channel, look at this. Look at this tall, or Kato. Look at this tall people being tall frame right here. This is nonsense. We both threw at range and just tickling, not quite. I know, right? It is. I don't know if you were there for the Anstjoren mod who was made here on the pickup field on this day. This is Friday, I think. But Anstjoren has like a thing where they all musketeer their blades together to induct the new person to the order. Does Meridius have something like that? Like a traditional way to induct somebody? Or action or ceremony? Like Atlantia doesn't, but we could make one. I was thinking it'd be kind of cool. Slav, if you're listening or watch the VOD, I had no idea you were 6'6" until I watched this video. Got a couple inches on me. We put our blades onto the inductee and recite. Oh, cool. Okay. That's dope. Is it the group that recites, or is there like the person kind of running the show at the moment, or is it the majesties or order principal or anything like that who does the work? Are they? They look 6'6", and look at this video. They look consistently taller, and you can even see that by camera angle they're slightly further back. Oh, wild. I like that. It's like a group oath kind of thing. That is the thing I am most scared of. I was thinking about this over the weekend when I was watching court. I am the most terrified of times when I have to recite something if I ever sit throne. Like there's like the this is what the crown will do for you now that you're a peer of the realm kind of recital, and then you dub somebody as you need to for the certain orders. And I'm like, man, I'm terrible at reciting stuff verbatim. I can give someone the gist of an idea, but word for word, awful. What is his pause? Slav. What is his pause and lean? That's a good point. I've been taking projection classes. I don't have terrible projection, but I know it could be better. And I have a reasonably deep voice that I think I can project, learn to project like some of the really good low-voiced heralds. Do the heralds just kind of whisper the line up your back and help you as you're in court in the moment? Yeah, that's what I need. Somebody just feed me lines. Just in case. Okay. That's legit. Does Slav do this to you? His pause and look. His leaned, stare down. No eyes. Hey, what's the next thing in that you're doing event wise, Meridia days or otherwise? Anything coming up? Are you fighting rapier? You fighting swordboard or armored? Yeah, our coronation's also in 2 weeks. Gonna be making the hike down. Oh, interesting. Our coronations usually have a lot of fighting. I suppose it depends on the people who are being elevated to throne, but the theme for this one for us is um, the Wild Hunt. And so they recruited a bunch of people on the armored side to represent different mythical beasts, which have like powers, quote unquote. And they're going to send the combatants out 3 at a time to hunt them. Like Wilhelm Battle Boar is a boar, and so he can only be killed. He can only be felled with a spear. And so, like a group of 3, 2 people with single sword, 1 person with spear has to kill him, who will have probably swordboard. And they recruited me to be a fox. I don't know what the fuck a fox does. I feel like a fox is way less deadly than a boar. But they're gonna give me some sort of shtick. I'm gonna have to do it. I'm hoping they just give me a spear and let me run around and nuke people. Give everybody a lot of cardio for the day, myself included. Yeah, it's fun. I definitely like the shtick like that. A themed, planned out thing. If you ever get a chance, it's on our War of the Wings site, which is the southern part of North Carolina. And the site is getting more and more built out. War of the Wings in the fall is now functionally like 4 to 5 days of war, and most people stay for the week with an average attendance like 1,200. It's getting to be like a mini golf. The site is getting more and more built up with permanent structures. We're all building our own. I've built a little tiny house on the site. There's like a Viking village, a longhouse, some other stuff getting more built. There's a bar that one of our older dukes just funded himself. It's a sweet bar. He made it a public thing. But yeah, if you're ever, if you all roll up, I'm happy to drive extra gear down since I'm relatively closer. I'm like 5.5 hours away. Put like extra tents or anything like that, let me know. And most certainly welcome to camp with and on our legacy land. Yeah, it's a good site. Atlantean and Skydian owned and operated. There's a few people, there's a few Skydians who basically just live on site and rarely go off site. It's become very much like what I think some people think of as a communal dream of shared land and shared resources. Do you live down in the Panhandle area? I don't know where you live relative to all the other folks. Or are you up in where Slav is, in Atlanta? Oh, okay. So it's going to be a hike to get to WoW. I imagine that's like 10 hours to North Carolina. Some shit like that. You doing anything HEMA or a non-SCA coming up? I don't know if you're part of the RASP crowd. I know there's Surfo down that way. At some point, I want to drive my ass down there, come visit the southeast of the U.S. You know when that is? It's a spring, summer, fall. Surfo. Oh, let me see when that is. When is Surfo 2024? Surfo 2024. June 7, 8, 9. Okay. Maybe I'll come down for that. Put my calendar now. Yeah, I've liked the HEMA events I've done. I'm generally into it. I think the biggest problem I've had with it in the past is that it's like in the crunch of like back-to-back SCA stuff. It's like in that high event time leading up until July where events drop off. Oh, interesting. Okay, I'll take a peek. If it's not, maybe I'll aim for the following year. Yeah. A wait list. Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah, I'll take a look. See what it looks like. You said Slav is about 6'6". John says 6'4". This video says taller than me, and I'm 6'4". So I'm leaning toward what you said about Slav's height. I'm gonna ask. Made it through the 8-2. Feeling good about that one. I just need to wager stuff to get in the fighting mindset. All right. Anyways, Gato, thank you for hanging out. Good to talk to you. I am going to take my old ass to bed, and I will talk to you next time. I think John and I are going to stream Thursday for some Armored. If you're around and want to hang out. But regardless, I hope you have a good night. All right, dude. Take it easy.